All right, get ready to dive into something totally different today.
Yeah.
We're heading to Portugal,
All right.
to the Peninsula de Setúbal wine region.
Ooh, nice.
Have you ever been?
I have not known.
So I'm picturing like vineyards with ocean views
Wow.
and mountains
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
tucked in between the two.
Yeah, and it's a region that's got a really rich history, going all the way back to the Roman era.
Really?
Yeah, like some serious old school winemaking going on there.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it went back that far.
It does.
That's amazing.
And get this, they've got this grape called Castellone
Okay.
that's like the star of the show there.
Okay.
It makes these wines that can age forever.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm already intrigued.
Right.
But I always like to understand, like, what makes a region's terroir so unique?
Yeah, it's all about the terroir, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, you've got the Atlantic Ocean on one side and then the Arabida Mountains on the other.
So the ocean's like right there.
It's right there.
Wow.
So you get these cool breezes coming off the water.
Okay.
And they kind of mix with the warmer air from the mountains.
Yep.
So it creates this perfect microclimate for growing grapes.
Okay.
And then you add in the different types of soil.
Yeah, tell me more about the soils.
So you've got sandy soils near the coast,
Okay.
which are great for lighter wines.
Got it.
And then as you move inland, you get more clay limestone,
Yeah.
and that gives you wines with more structure and complexity.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it all comes together to create something really special.
So it's not just one thing, it's the whole combination.
It's the whole package deal.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and within the region, there are 4 subregions.
Mm.
You've got Palmela, Setúbal, Azeitão, and Sesimbra.
Okay, 4 different subregions.
4 different subregions, yeah.
That's a lot more diverse than I would have expected.
It is.
Wow.
So Palmela is the biggest.
Okay.
And it's known for its wide variety of wines.
Okay.
But Setúbal is famous for its Moscatel de Setúbal.
Okay, and that's a...
That's a fortified wine?
Ah.
Okay, and get this. It was a favorite of royalty back in the day.
Oh, wow. All right, you had me at fortified, but now I'm really interested.
It's good stuff.
So besides those 2 wines, the source material also mentioned a bunch of other grapes.
Oh, yeah, there are a ton of grapes there.
Where do we even begin?
Let's start with the reds.
Okay.
So, like I said, Castellone is the big one.
Right, the star.
The star, exactly.
All right.
It's got this rustic elegance.
Okay.
It's not overly fruity. It's
Yeah.
got more depth to it
Gotcha.
and a hint of spice.
Okay.
And then there's Touriga Nacional.
Okay, isn't that like Portugal's most famous grape?
It's one of them for sure.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of elegance and structure to the wines.
Okay.
Makes them feel really sophisticated.
Gotcha.
Then you've got Trincadeira,
Okay.
which brings all the fresh fruitiness.
Okay, so it's like a little bit more lively.
Yeah, totally. It adds some vibrancy.
Oh, well.
And then there's Aragones.
Okay.
You might know it as Tempranillo in Spain.
Oh, okay.
It adds structure and makes the wines age well.
Ah, okay. So each grape brings something different to the table.
Exactly. It's all about the blend.
All right, so we covered the reds, but what about the whites?
Okay, so for the whites, the most planted grape is actually Fernand Pires.
Really?
Hmm.
More than Moscatel?
Yeah, more than Moscatel.
Wow, I would have thought Moscatel would be the most popular.
It's a common misconception.
Interesting.
But Fernand Pires is super versatile.
Okay.
It can be made into all sorts of wines, from dry to sparkling.
Wow.
Think citrus and floral aromas.
Oh, that sounds refreshing.
It is.
Okay, but I do still want to hear more about that Moscatel.
Of course, the royal favorite.
Yes.
So Moscatel de Setúbal, it's made by basically stopping the fermentation process early,
Okay.
adding grape spirit.
Right, and that's what makes it fortified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it can age for so long.
Got it. So it's like capturing the sweetness of the grapes at its peak,
That's a great way to put it.
and then it just gets better with time.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And then there are a couple of other white grapes that are worth mentioning.
Okay, what are they?
Arinto
Okay.
and Chardonnay.
Chardonnay. Oh.
Yeah, Arinto is known for its high acidity.
Okay.
So it adds a lot of freshness to the wines.
Right.
And Chardonnay, it's Chardonnay.
Yes,
It
sir.
does really well in the Setúbal climate.
Okay.
Makes some really elegant wines.
Cool.
Yeah,
So it's like we've got all the pieces of the puzzle now.
we're getting
The
there.
terroir, the grapes.
Yeah.
What else is there?
We got to talk about the winemaking.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that.
What do you know about the winemaking practices there?
Well, I read that a lot of winemakers in the region are really focused on sustainable practices.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah, like organic and biodynamic farming.
Absolutely. It's all about working with nature, not against it. They really care about preserving the land.
Makes sense. They want to be able to keep making wine for years to come.
Exactly. It's about long-term vision.
And I'm guessing there's a mix of traditional and modern techniques at play.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So tell me more about that.
Well, some wineries still use those traditional stone lagars.
Oh, the ones where they stomp the grapes with their feet?
Yeah, that's the one.
Wow.
It's a tradition that's been around for centuries.
It's amazing that they're still doing that.
It is.
Wow.
But then you've also got wineries using state-of-the-art stainless steel tanks.
Okay, for temperature control and all that.
Exactly. So it's a really interesting blend of old and new.
And I bet it creates a lot of variety in the final product.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And we can't forget about oak aging.
Oh, yeah, oak aging.
That's a big part of the winemaking process in Setúbal.
I've always been curious about that. Does the type of oak really make a difference?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, how so?
So they use different types of oak, like French, American, even Hungarian.
Huh.
And each type imparts different flavors to the wine.
So it's like adding a different spice to a dish.
Exactly. It's all about nuance and complexity.
Wow, there's so much that goes into making these wines.
It's an art form, really.
It is. It makes you appreciate every sip.
It does.
So let's talk about the wines themselves now.
Yeah, let's get to the good stuff.
What kind of styles and tasting notes can we expect from Setúbal wines?
Well, prepare yourself for a diverse lineup.
Okay.
You've got full-bodied reds,
Okay.
crisp and refreshing whites,
Okay.
vibrant rosés,
Uh-huh.
and, of course, those decadent fortified wines we talked about.
Okay.
And all of those flavors we've been discussing, the grapes, the soil, the climate,
Yeah.
they all come together in the glass.
It's like a symphony of flavor.
It really is.
Okay, so give me some specific examples.
All right, so imagine you're biting into a ripe plum
Okay.
with a hint of black pepper.
Okay.
That's what a classic Castellone tastes like.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
It is.
Okay, what about a white wine?
All right, picture yourself in a citrus grove on a sunny day.
Right.
There's a gentle sea breeze, and you can smell orange blossom and lemon zest.
Ooh, okay.
That's the essence of Fernand-Peyors.
Okay, that sounds lovely.
And then, of course, there's Moscatel de Setúbal.
Yes, tell me more.
Think liquid gold
Okay.
with flavors of dried apricots, honey, and warming spices.
Oh, wow, that sounds decadent.
It is. It's a real treat.
Okay, I'm already craving a glass.
Right.
But we can't forget about food pairings.
Oh, the food in Setúbal is amazing.
Okay, so tell me, what are some of the local dishes that pair well with these wines?
Well, you've got fresh seafood,
Okay,
grilled fish,
nice.
hearty meat dishes.
Okay, give me some specific pairing recommendations.
All right, so if you're having grilled sea bass, try it with a Fernand-Peyors.
Oh, yeah.
It'll really highlight the delicate flavors of the fish.
Gotcha.
And if you're having something richer, like calderada, which is a seafood stew,
Okay,
a mineral-driven Orinto would be perfect.
nice. And what about those reds?
Ah, yes, for the reds.
I imagine there are some great pairings for those hearty wheat dishes.
You bet.
Okay, give me some ideas.
So if you're having roasted lamb or pork,
Okay.
a Castellone would be a fantastic match.
Okay.
Its earthy notes and tannins will complement the savory flavors perfectly.
Okay, and I can't let you off the hook without some Moscatel pairings.
Right, of course.
What are your favorites?
Well, Moscatel de Setúbal is amazing with local almond cakes.
Okay.
They're called esses de azeitan.
Right.
Or try it with azeitan cheese. It's made from sheep's milk.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a delicious combination.
It is.
Sweet and salty.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, you've convinced me I need to add Setúbal to my list of places to visit.
You won't regret it.
It sounds incredible.
And speaking of experiences,
Yes.
we have to talk about the eno-tourism scene in Setúbal.
Okay, yeah, the source material talked about that a bit.
It's not just about the wine, it's about the whole experience. You
Yeah.
can walk through the vineyards, visit wineries with stunning views,
Yeah.
learn from passionate winemakers.
It sounds amazing.
Oh, and did I mention the dolphin watching?
Wait, what? There are dolphins?
Yeah, in the Sado estuary.
Wow.
You can even go on boat tours.
Okay, that's definitely going on my list.
It's a must-do.
Okay, so besides the wineries and the dolphins, what else is there to see and do in the region?
Well, you've got the medieval castle of Palmela
Okay.
and the historic center of Setúbal.
Okay.
They're both really charming.
Nice.
And for nature lovers, there's the Arabada Natural Park.
Okay, cool. So something for everyone.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away planning our trip, let's talk about the future of this region.
Yeah, that's an important conversation.
What are some of the challenges and opportunities facing the winemakers of Setúbal?
Well, climate change is a big one.
Right, that's a concern everywhere.
It is.
Okay, so how are they addressing that?
They're really focusing on sustainable practices
Okay,
and exploring ways to adapt.
like what?
Trying new grape varieties that are more resistant to drought
Okay,
and using water-saving irrigation techniques.
gotcha.
But there are also a lot of exciting opportunities.
Like what?
Well, Setúbal wines are gaining more international recognition.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, people are starting to discover this hidden gem.
It's exciting to see a region like this on the rise.
It is.
It's a reminder that there's always something new to discover in the world of wine.
Absolutely.
So how do you see the future of Setúbal wine?
I think it's bright.
Okay.
They're doing a great job of balancing tradition and innovation.
Yeah.
And they're really committed to quality.
Okay.
I think we're going to see great things from them in the years to come.
Cool. Well, that's about all the time we have for this part of our deep dive into the Peninsula de Setúbal.
Okay.
But be sure to join us next time as we continue exploring this amazing region and its wines.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into Setúbal.
Back for more Setúbal.
You know it.
I'm ready to plan my trip.
Oh, yeah. Already.
After those pairings, the almond cakes and a z'iton cheese.
Right. Those sounded good.
It's making me hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah, Setúbal is definitely a foodie's paradise. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay, right.
We were talking about the future of the region.
Right. Balancing tradition and innovation.
Yeah. Do you think that's a challenge for other wine regions, too?
I imagine so. Trying to stay true to your roots,
Yeah.
but also keeping up with the times.
Yeah, it's a tough balance to strike.
But it seems like Setúbal's doing a pretty good job of it.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some examples of how they're blending those two things?
Well, we talked about those stone lagars,
Yeah.
where they still foot tread the grapes.
Right, super traditional.
Yeah, but then they'll also use stainless steel tanks for fermentation.
Okay, so they're not afraid to use modern technology when it makes sense.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance.
And what about sustainability?
Oh, that's huge in Setúbal.
It seems like a lot of winemakers there are really committed to it,
Yeah, they're really focused on organic and biodynamic farming.
which is awesome.
It is. It shows they're thinking about the long-term health of the land.
And I bet it leads to better wines, too.
Absolutely. Wines that really reflect the place they come from.
That sense of terroir.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I've noticed that the ocean comes up a lot in the source material.
The Atlantic.
Yeah.
It's a big part of what makes Setúbal unique.
It's almost like it's another character in the story.
Right, the ocean breezes,
Yeah.
the mineral notes in the wines.
Yeah, it's definitely a presence.
And then you've got the mountains, too.
The Arabida Mountains.
Yeah, creating this kind of protected microclimate.
So it's the ocean and the mountains working together.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing.
It really shows how much geography influences winemaking.
It's all connected.
So Setúbal has this unique terroir
Uh-huh.
and these amazing grape varieties.
Yeah.
And they're balancing tradition and innovation.
It's a winning combination.
It is. I'm getting so excited to visit this place.
You should. It's truly special.
Okay, back to eno-tourism.
All right.
The dolphins.
Can you imagine that?
Sipping wine, watching dolphins.
It's like something out of a movie.
It sounds incredible.
And then there are all those other things to do, too.
Yeah, the castle, the historic center.
Yeah, and don't forget the natural park.
Right, the Arabida Natural Park.
It's stunning.
Okay, I need to book my flights ASAP.
Well, hold your horses for just a second.
Okay.
We need to wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay, right, good point.
What are the key takeaways here?
Well, first and foremost, that terroir.
Yeah, it's all about the terroir.
The Atlantic, the mountains, the soil,
It's a special combination.
and then those grapes,
Right. Castellón and Moscatel de Setúbal.
the stars of the show.
Absolutely.
And the fact that this region is, on the rise.
Yeah, it's got so much potential.
It's exciting to see.
It is.
Like a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive.
Right.
But we'll be back for more Setúbal in part 3.
Can't wait.
And we're back, wrapping up our deep dive into Portugal's Peninsula de Setúbal wine region.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
It has.
So much to unpack there.
I know, I feel like I've learned so much about this place,
Me too.
and I'm ready to book my flight.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm already looking at tickets.
Wow, that's dedication.
I can't help it sounds amazing.
I know, it really does.
So as we say farewell to the Peninsula de Setúbal, what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Yeah, what really stood out to you?
Honestly, it's that sense of balance.
Occurrence.
It's everywhere.
In what way?
In the landscape, like the ocean and the mountains,
Right.
different soil types,
Yeah.
and even in the wines themselves.
Okay, explain that.
Well, it's that mix of tradition and innovation,
Right, we talked about that.
using those old methods,
Yeah.
but also embracing new technology.
It's like they're taking the best of both worlds.
Exactly, and it's working.
Yeah, it's creating some pretty amazing wines.
And there's just this real sense of place in the wines.
You can really taste the region.
Absolutely.
Right.
The ocean, the soil,
Yeah.
it's all there.
It's like they've bottled the essence of Setúbal.
That's a great way to put it.
So, as we wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this?
Go visit.
Yeah,
Seriously, if you have the chance, go experience it for yourself.
it's worth the trip.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks.
Setúbal is calling.
That's right. Go explore those vineyards
Taste the wines.
and maybe even see some dolphins.
You never know.
And that's it for this deep dive into the Peninsula de Setúbal wine region.
Until next time,
Cheers to exploring new wines in new places.
cheers to exploring new wines and new places.
Cheers a tray.